The Modern Man Podcast.
And on today's episode of The Modern Man, we are going to be speaking about the hardships of being a young business owner. I have today's guest with me, the gentleman that actually helped me start this podcast. If it wasn't for him, then this wouldn't have been happening nearly 2 years later. Mr. Dillon Naidoo from 1920 Productions, welcome.
Thanks, man. It's good to be on the other side of the camera, actually. Like, it's a bit nervous. Well, I'm a bit nervous. I don't know.
we're
Still
gonna
getting
break
my feet with this. Never tried something like this in the past, but at least you hold my hand.
I love the pause. Dude, let's go straight into it, bro. We discussed a little bit of topics before this. So do you want to start us off, bro? What is the first hardship of being a young business owner?
I think the first hardship would be maintaining romantic relationships, right? Reason I say that is because you have to be so selfish to start a business.
Yeah.
In the sense that you don't have time for much else. And when you do have time, you want to have time for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And in my experience, usually when you date someone and you're working 6 out of the 7 days, on the 7th day, when you say, like, I have some free time, she hears we time, right? And it's crazy because during that time, sometimes you just want to chill by yourself or maybe go out with the boys because I find that therapeutic. And during the whole week, like, I'd be on the phone and talking to her and be like, hey, how are you? Good morning, good night, all those things. And then on the last day, she's like, but I didn't see you the whole week. And in my head, I'm like, I talked to you the whole week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think from that stance, I find it.
Dude, it is very difficult, bro, because you need to be 100% dedicated to your craft, bro. I mean, like, your business, especially if it's your only thing, like, you're not doing it as a side hustle. It's your bread and butter, bro. You're not going to live without it, bro. And the thing is, I think with a relationship, it's a full-time job as well, bro. You need to be on it consistently. So spending quality time is a big, important part of any relationship. And being a business owner, being younger back then, also I couldn't do it. There was no time. Because you, as you say, you want to spend that alone time. You want to decompress. And you want to kind of be on your own. Or, go out with the boys, have a couple drinks and stuff like that. Something that, like, kind of recharges your battery in a way. I know it sounds a little bit bad, but when you're younger, I don't think a relationship does do that for you because you're not in that mindset yet to, how do I say, be completely in it. You're not indulged into the relationship because your mind's everywhere else. And I don't think it's fair to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, how do you love someone during this journey of self-discovery, right? Because you're still learning to love yourself, love your brand. And I think the hardest part is you love your business. I know it sounds terrible, right? You love your business to a point where it's an obsession.
Yeah.
And anything that doesn't align with that doesn't fit into it. And a lot of past relationships, I found that, like, girls would come and tell you, man, you need to just
chill,
live. Yeah, you need to just live and do things for yourself. But don't understand, I'm doing this business for myself, right?
Not for you right now, but for you in the future. 100%.
100%.
And I like the word that you used there. You're obsessed with it, bro. Like, you're obsessed. You get this, like, little knack. But I think that also comes down to, like, a personality trait. Like, certain people are that ambitious.
I was also trying to...
Certain people they're just that ambitious, bro. And when you're that ambitious, you want it to be the best you possibly can be. And that requires 24/7, 365 focus onto your business. I mean, even, when you're going out with your boys, sometimes you're sitting there in the back of your head and you're thinking, fuck, I got to go send this invoice, or I got to go post this post, or, something like that. You're not fully present with other people around. And, as you said, romantic relationships, I think that happens with majority of relationships, bro. From family to friends to everything.
Yeah, dude, even when you go out, like, in a club setting, I'm not even just enjoying myself. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, what do you do? What do you do for work? And I'm networking and I'm like, okay, cool. Let me get to know you. Maybe we could work together. Maybe we could, it could turn into something. And
that could benefit you.
100%, right? And it sounds so crazy, but you are looking for things that can benefit you. Love isn't enough to sustain a relationship.
No, 100%. 100%. You are very correct in that one, bro.
I think in order to love someone, you need to, like, you need to find someone that connects with you. For me, it's, and you're pretty, obviously. Like, if I'm not attracted to you, if I'm not attracted to
Sexual
you,
attraction is the number one thing.
yeah,
bro.
why are you here, right?
You're not falling in love with their personality at first sight.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
secondly, you need to have someone that you can converse with and have a conversation and have open, honest, hard conversations, right? Because small things lead to bigger things, which ultimately makes you feel uneasy. When you're uneasy, that then goes into your business and your business becomes uneasy. If you're not performing at the top of your game in all aspects of your life, your business is going to struggle. And that's
100%.
that's why relationships are so important, right? Any and any and all types of relationships. So if you're fighting with your girlfriend, you're going to be stressed out, and because you're stressed out,
And women give you different stress, bro. Different
Literally.
stress. Yeah.
it's a different kind of stress. I think, like, also with relationships, as a guy, you got to learn how to navigate emotional intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Because I felt
EQ.
100%, dude. Like, everything's so black and white to me. It's like, oh, we have a problem. Here's the solution.
Logical, bro. You're a logical thinker,
Yeah.
bro. Critical thinker.
And then with, like, I don't have a girlfriend, but with my future girlfriend, it would be problem, solution, how she felt about the solution. And then I'm like, okay, but I can't control how you feel about it. So what do I do?
Dude, I was even reading in a book the other day, bro, and it was just discussing the different energies between male and female, bro. And so, like, people like us, in business, we have wars every day. We go to war every day, wake up and we're there, bro. If you come home and there's no peace, there's big problems. You know what I mean? So that's also very important with a relationship. I think when you're younger, when girls aren't mature enough to understand that, because they're still looking for the fun, and this isn't a bad thing about women. Like, we're not bashing women here, guys. You know what I mean? But just in that point, when they aren't okay with you being busy 24/7, that's going to be a problem, bro. Because you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, everyone wants the businessman who's well kept,
The
he's
high value man,
ambitious,
yeah.
and he has a high social value when he walks into a room. Like, people, like, guys are like, girls are like, who is that guy? Guys are like, oh, I want to meet him. He looks
Yes.
like a fun guy to be around.
Girls want to be with you and guys want to be you. Yeah.
100%. And then when you're that person, when you're in that ecosystem, people don't see the day to day. Like, you're waking up early, you're grinding throughout the day. When you come back, you're tired. And you're using that tiredness to maybe do physical activities like, I don't know, exercising, going to gym, going on a run, if you're that type of person.
Yeah.
And you want to monetize every minute of your day, right?
Yeah.
When you learn the value of a minute, it's crazy because I have concentrated workflows. So for like a full day, I will grind. And then the next day, I'm doing absolutely nothing. So it's like a switch. It's either it's on or it's off,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And when it's on, I'm getting a week's worth of work done in a day. And when it's off, I'm like just chilling hard. It's like work hard, play hard. So is that really balance? I don't know. To me,
dude,
it works.
Let's be honest, bro. It's not a balance, bro. Like, anybody who wants to go with work-life balance, if you want to be successful in your thing, you'll know that it's a fucking lie. There's no balance, bro. You're either fully in and you're moving at 120 kilometers an hour, or you're fucking sitting and doing nothing, bro.
Yeah, because
You want to, as you said earlier, bro, when you said you understand the value of 1 minute. Our biggest resource in this entire life is our time and energy. So if you're giving your time and energy to the wrong things, you're literally wasting your most precious resource.
and if you open the slightest gap to mess up, it ruins you. So if I go to let's use gym for the example, right? If I go to gym every single day for this week, and then next week Monday I'm like, I'm so burnt out from last week, I'm just gonna skip Monday. I'll go on Tuesday. The one day you skipped introduces that feeling of like laziness, and then you're like, one more day. And
I'll
then
start again
one more
tomorrow,
day,
yeah.
and then
it's next
it never
Monday.
happens.
Yeah.
And then you end up falling out of this whole routine that you've built, which is why consistency is key, right?
100%.
And the thing is, you rather be consistent than perfect. So I'm not saying don't skip days. Like, the life's gonna happen, right? But
You'll have your bad days, bro.
be on par with it long enough that you're at least hitting 80 to 90% of what you intended to do. Because you skip one day, which then turns into 2 days, 3 days. Then it's like, when last have I been to gym?
100%.
You know?
100%, bro. And I like what you said there, like kind of ruins you, bro, like mentally, is because also when I think you're in this mindset as a business owner, bro, you're very critical on yourself. So when the accountability kicks in and you start thinking it's my fault, then you actually go harder onto yourself, which is not healthy either. You know, obviously, if you want to be the best, you got to be extremely hard on yourself.
Don't you think that's a good thing?
Yo, I do think it's a good thing, but only if you are okay with it. Like you need to be aware and conscious that you are being hard on yourself and know that that's just today. Tomorrow can be better. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you live in that little mindset and that mindset can throw you down a fucking spiral, bro.
Being in that kind of space is it's such a it's a double-edged sword, right? It's a catch-22 because throughout you saying, you know, every day I want to work hard and I need to do this and I want to strive for all these positive things, you're also stressing yourself out to be positive, which in turn is negative, right? And then you find that you worked all this time and you're doing all these things, but like you're not feeling fulfilled and imposter syndrome kicks in. And I think that's to offset that, what I try and do is like, I just try and be more grateful and show gratitude. Right?
Yeah.
So one thing for me is like last year I did like a ton of flights and I was just like, damn, I got to go through airport security and I got to check in all this gear, like, you know, and like all these steps, right?
Yeah.
And I stopped and I thought to myself, well, I get to do this today. I don't have to go to work. I get to go to work.
Dude, I love that. That's the difference in sentence right there, bro. I don't have to. I get to. When other people are stressing and doing like stuff like that, where they have very little in their lives, you have all this abundance, and you take it for like sometimes you take it for granted, bro. Again, that's a catch-22 because of our mindset. We always want more. That's never enough. You know, when is enough? You got to ask yourself that question: when is enough? I don't think it's ever going to be enough. You always want to do something more. You always want to take the next step. You know, do something more.
So something I try and remind people about is, you're gonna die. Dude, you're gonna die. I'm gonna die. Everyone in this room, we're all gonna be dead.
We're busy dying.
Literally. Like the clock is counting down, bro. And no one's gonna remember us in the next couple 10 years, 20, 30 years. Like
one generation down and we're gone. Bro.
We don't remember the people that lived in this same place, like walked these where we are right now, right? And when you're on your deathbed, are you gonna look back on your life and think, shit, I worked my whole life. I didn't get time to spend with my family or build the relationships I wanted to. I didn't express my feelings the way I should have, right? And that's difficult, man. I've been trying to, this year for me has been about reestablishing relationships because for the first few years of my business, I spent so long punting. I didn't speak to any of my friends for like 7 months straight. Like, to points where when I met, they wouldn't even invite me out anymore. And I'm like, oh, but these are my friends. But they can't understand, right? But you don't realize you're pushing yourself away from what actually matters because work shouldn't consume you, right? It's a tool to be able to live more freely and to be able to embrace those around you, the experiences. It buys you. It's supposed to buy you time, and it's supposed to buy you quality of life.
Freedom, basically. Time, freedom
100%.
to be able to do what you want to do and stuff. But the problem is then you're going to have to sacrifice to get to that point.
Yeah.
Your relationships, your this and that.
I think as a startup, it's mandatory.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because that's the sift that separates the people that think they want to be entrepreneurs and the people that are actually doers and actually make it happen. Because being an entrepreneur is literally just jumping and building the plane on the way down.
100%,
right?
Yeah.
Like, how quickly can you do this? Because it doesn't matter, like, if we start this podcast now and we don't have all the gear, for example, but in 5 years, the gear will be there. Like, if you just start now, eventually it will compound and it will grow and it will be what you want it to be. You just got to start.
Yeah,
Nothing's
100%.
perfect.
Yes, as you said, it's just consistency, bro. You just got to keep going. You figure things out along the way. You know, like you can think of all logical actions that you'll take in 6 months, bro. 6 months from now, your life is completely different, bro. Your life is completely different 6 months from now. And I love what you said about this year. You've chosen to reestablish relationships, bro. I feel that on a deep level too, bro, because I also was very, I wouldn't say cutting out my friends and stuff like that, but just being more, how do I say, empathetic to people, bro, because I was very hard, that's fucking stupid, or this and
yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
I'm
Because
the
we're
same,
logical
I'm the same.
thinkers, bro. It's just I look at something and I'm like, I figured it out already. While you're telling me the problem, and I'm looking at you like, why? How did you not think about this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's either gonna go A or B. Like if it's gonna go bad, well, all you can do is just take the step in the next best direction. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't help. Like
It's like chess. You're the next best move, bro.
And like, okay, so one thing about me, like on that topic, right? I don't attend funerals for people I haven't seen in the past 12 months. It doesn't matter if we grew up together. If I haven't seen you in the last 12 months, it means we weren't that close, actually, right? We didn't even pick up a phone call to check each other. We didn't make plans for lunch. It just means
You
that
didn't chat.
yeah, it doesn't mean like we're on bad terms or anything. It just means
You've moved on, bro.
we've moved on, we've drifted, right? And that's a rule I have, because if I didn't make time to see you in these last few months, it means we didn't really care about each other the way we thought we did, right?
Yes.
And relationships are so deep and meaningful to me because, like you said, time is counting down. I'm going to die. Me taking this time out to come and do this podcast with you means you're someone I value in my life. You're someone that I take value from.
Yes.
And someone hopefully I can provide value to, to increase our quality of life as people, as friends, because otherwise, what am I doing, bro? If I'm not helping you, if I'm not growing
yourself,
you or helping myself,
It's kind of going backwards.
yeah,
bro.
we just
Being
kind
standing,
of
standing
taking-
still is going backwards.
100%. We just kind of decaying together. It's like those friends that are like, hey, bro, do you want to meet up this weekend and have a drink? And I'm like, nah, sorry, dude. Like, I'm in monk mode. I actually want to chill out.
Yeah.
And are you really my friend? I'm telling you I'm in monk mode and you're telling me, just one drink. You're not my friend. You're not my friend.
A
You're
real friend will
someone-
be like, go kill it, mate.
Yeah,
Or,
a real friend will be like,
or let's go hit the gym together.
like
then.
I'll miss,
You know
I'll
what I
miss
mean?
you. Like, do you want to do something more wholesome? Let's go on a hike, or let's do something more positive. Or
That doesn't involve drinking.
yeah, what aligns with what you're trying to do? Let's go do that instead. That's a real friend, right?
Yeah.
And
Because if your friends are only people that you can go drink with, they're not your friends.
100%.
If you, like, it's just one saying, you have 50 people you can go drink with, you don't have one that you can start a business with.
So one thing, I don't know if I read it or if I heard it from someone, but a couple of years ago, I'm just going to say read for the sake of conversation. A couple of years ago, stop pulling this thing while I'm talking. Okay, so so a couple of years ago, I read this thing where it basically says, it's called Becoming the 0.1%, right? It was a book I read, and this guy basically speaks about how he stopped drinking, right, to be in the Royal Marines.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me because if I go to a bar now and I drink, I'm probably going to meet the same people, have similar conversations, just like in different
had a year
formats,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
That I had a year ago. But if in the next 5 years, if I take that time instead of going out to just read one page of a book, 5 years worth of one pages, I'll be at a drastically different point in my life, in philosophy and my outlook in general, right? And when I come there, there's a good chance the furniture didn't even change. The conversations are going to be the same because there's people that are literally stuck in time, right? Have you ever met your high school friends and then tried to be like, hey, dude, I haven't seen you in so long, let's meet up. And then you meet up and the conversation dies. It's basically just saying, hey, how are you? What do you do now? And like, how much do you make indirectly, right?
And then you talk about the old days. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're just speaking about the past because that's where we're living mentally. And to a point, that doesn't even appeal to me anymore because it's like,
Then you
I've
also
moved on.
kind of remember why you don't hang out with those people anymore. Because sometimes your brain will trick you. Be like, oh, I should go hang out with that person again. I miss them. You spend 5-10 minutes with them, and you're like, this is
That's why I don't go
bro.
back to exes, bro. You have this idea in your head of who they are. And when you see them again, it's like, nah, I remember why we left the situation.
Dude, but I mean, as you said there, bro, I think we are put on this earth to be the best possible version of ourselves. As you say, you get this life and you're going to die. So if you are going to lay on your deathbed knowing that you haven't been the best possible version of you, you're going to have that best possible version of you standing next to you, looking down at you, and you're going to be like, fuck, I could have been that, you know?
Do you ever stop and think that Okay, so before I say what I'm gonna say, right? We always think we're at the best version of ourselves, right? Like right now, I think I'm the shit, right? In all aspects. And in 10 years from now, I'm gonna look back at me now and think like,
What a
dude,
dumbass.
yeah, what a dumbass.
Facts,
right?
bro. Yeah.
And with that being said, do you ever stop and think that you're running at full speed with your blinders on to where you think you should go? What if when I turn 60 or 70, I look back and think, I actually should have done something different with my life?
Dude, I think if you, I do get that, but it depends on what you're doing, bro. So if you are in your life, let's not even just talk careers wise, not business wise. I think if you in your life are being a good, genuine person and you've helped people along the way to become better versions of themselves and you never maliciously went out of your way to hurt somebody, it actually doesn't matter what you did. You've done.
Yeah,
You've had a good run. Bro.
I guess we all want to be successful in our lives, right? But what is success?
Right?
How
do you calibrate that?
It's such
bro?
a subjective thing because to me, success could be living in a big mansion with a Lambo and a bunch of cars and hot wife, full shebang.
Yeah.
To the next person, it's living on a farm with lots of kids and grandkids and great grandkids and having
Community,
right?
Yeah.
And to that person, that's a successful life. And we both would have lived equally happy and fulfilling lives. So it's just, I think it boils down to what do you want out of it?
Exactly. I do agree with you, bro. That was very insightful. Fuck. We went deep on that one, bro. Okay, my next point is the fact that majority of your friends and family will not support you on your journey as a business owner.
Oh, 100%, man.
What's that saying? A client becomes a friend quicker than a friend becomes a client.
Yeah, I think when I said I wanted to do photography, people were like, "Yeah, what are you gonna go take pictures of, man? Like, how are you gonna make money taking a picture?" And then like years later, like last month, I toured 8 countries taking pictures, and it's so crazy to me. But I just thought you had to push a button. And there's all these things into it, and the thing is, nobody can see your vision. I don't even think you can fully see your vision, right?
Yeah, you kind of have an idea,
Yeah.
but you don't see an end goal at the end.
You're just like, okay, let's say I bake biscuits, and then you bake biscuits, and you're like, how far can I take this? And then you end up opening a bakery, which turns into a factory. Boom! Now you have the assorted biscuits. What was that? Baker's biscuits.
Yeah.
And then every Christmas, the whole world buys your biscuits. It's a household name.
Yeah.
It's just like the entrepreneurial mindset is like, how far can I push this? And like, even once I've pushed it past its boundaries, how much further can I take it? Like, what's the limit? Is there a limit?
What do you think is the driving factor behind friends and family not supporting you, like spending, because they'll go out and they'll go buy the most expensive pair of shoes, or they'll spend money on this, do that shit like that. As soon as they need something, they'll come to you and ask either for free or for a discounted fee or something like that. Why do you think people do that? What's the mindset behind that?
I feel like the reason family and friends don't support you, it's not because they don't love you, because they don't want you to succeed. A lot of people's first answers would be, oh no, they're jealous. No, it's not. I think they've seen you through your hardships and they view you through that lens. So it's like, oh, I've seen all this guy's fuck ups. I don't think he can do this.
You know him too much, yeah.
I know him too much, right? And it's down to you to prove everyone wrong and to prove yourself, prove to yourself as well that this is gonna be done. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. And it's just gonna work. Like you gotta have this delusional mindset.
Yeah, it's plan A. There's no plan B.
Yeah, it's just plan A. Like I've never had a plan B in my life. And terrible.
That's nasty, though.
And
good reverse gear.
Shit, man. So you just gotta run into shit and know that like if this doesn't work, well, it can't not work.
It can't not work.
Like even if there's no end, you gotta like bring in that plot twist and say, okay, well, it's gonna work now.
100%. Dude, I will disagree with you a little bit on the point of the jealousy, and I don't think it's jealousy. I think it's the age-old thing of people want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. And because they will see you doing these kinds of things, taking the steps and shit, while they are not. So now
the grass is green on the other side.
Yeah. So they're seeing you do all of this, and they're not doing these kinds of things, and it's the first thing they're like, oh, he's not going to do that. He's not able to do that. Or, like, it's your spirit irritates their demons. That's one of my new favorite sayings, bro.
I think you're also just a different caliber of person because building a business isn't about building the business. It's about building yourself. And when you build yourself, you can go into any and all industries and dominate.
Yeah.
Right? And it takes a certain caliber of person to do that, to fight their demons, and to really just embrace themselves and know that you're going beyond enemy lines with no backup, no support. It's me and me alone. When I fall, I'm crawling because no one's here to help you, right?
No one's coming to save you.
No one's coming to save you. And that's what it's like owning a business, because when things tank, when you're in debt, when your business doesn't have income for 2-3 months and you still have all these things to pay, you're the one that needs to like make a plan, dude. You're backed in a corner, you're in fetal position, and you need to
That's when
fight
you need to
your
be
way
the strongest.
out.
Yeah, 100%.
That's when you become that's the test of a true entrepreneur. Like, I don't have any idea how I'm gonna get out of this. So what do? First thing I do is like I pick up the phone and I'm like calling everybody and anybody
That you know. Yeah.
that I know to see what can I do and how can I do it. Doesn't matter, bro. There's no
I'll pick up your trash.
there's no
bro.
pride, bro.
Yeah.
There's no pride in making money and making shit happen, because that's how the rags to riches story comes. I'm not saying, like, listen, if you have the advantage, take the advantage. You don't have to come from rags. You can go from rich to richer, right? But
And don't feel bad about it.
no, not at
Yeah.
all, man. Not at all.
Don't listen to those feminists.
Yeah, cut that one. And get cancelled. But yeah, ultimately, it's down to you. It's down to your grit and your mindset, because coming back to why other people, friends and family, don't believe in you and why strangers believe in you is because strangers don't see you for the man you are. They see you for who you could be, right? And I don't know who I stole that quote from. I'm not that smart, right? But it's true,
Yeah.
right? Your family sees you for who you are. Your friends see you for who you are.
They know your deepest, darkest corners,
Yeah.
bro.
Because they're with you throughout your journey of progression, and they've seen all your worst parts. And it's hard for them to see past that, because even as you progress, they'll still think
remember
like,
that, yeah.
they'll still remember that. They'll still view you like that.
Which I think it should actually be a strength. That should be a strength. But as you say, it's a weakness, bro. Like, they view you like that, and they aren't able to look past that, bro. But knowing all of that about you, and knowing that you're now standing forward and, making shit happen, that should be enough for them to, like, back you up.
Yeah,
because they're the closest people in your life, and that's kind of who you expect it for. That's why you can't trust anybody but yourself at the end of the day.
I think
Family, friends, like, okay, don't get me wrong, like, I'm blessed with family, friends, like, really good people around me, but I've just seen so many people get done dirty by the people closest to them. So always in the back of my head, I've just got something just there, like, just to always hold back a little bit, don't always go fully in there.
I mean, to be honest, how could you blame people for not believing in you? Because what have you given them to believe in you, man? Like, you need tangible proof.
Yeah.
Like, you have no track record starting out, right?
The proof's in the pudding.
The proof's in the pudding, man. Only like once you start doing tangible shit and you can see literal progress, then only will people start believing in you the way you believe in yourself. But initially, you just gotta like run
shit.
and eat shit, man, and like dig your face in it until you get to that point, bro. You gotta be delusional. You gotta believe in yourself so much that
People think you fucking mad, bro.
yeah, and they're like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Until it starts working, then they're like,
He's a genius.
"Yeah, like why didn't we think of that?"
Yeah.
You know?
I think we can pull in another point of that, or just into that conversation, bro. The fact that people have this crazy idea that business owners have all the time in the world and have all the money in the world. As a young business owner that's just starting his thing.
On top of that, I think the fact that people think you know everything. The biggest part about being a business owner is the fact that you can admit, I don't know shit, but like,
I'm going to
I'm
figure it out.
gonna figure it out, right? I'm building this plane as I'm like on the way down,
Yeah.
right?
As you
And
say, you jump and build the plane on your way down.
100%, and that's your biggest strength, man. Your ability to adapt, your ability to be like, okay, shit, like that sucks, but there's nothing I can do about it. What's the next best step in the right direction? And just taking that step, and being able to detach yourself from the negative and feeling that, that's what makes
Yeah.
you get on top.
I think it's never a loss, it's always a lesson at the end of the day. I think that's also what puts people apart, business owners and normal people, is when they lose and stay down. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's always about how many times you stand up. And it sounds like a cliche, but cliches are cliches for a reason. There's a whole reason why it's like that. So yeah, I think that's the biggest difference, and again, I mean, we were talking about it earlier. How many times have you sat as a business owner, you got to pay your suppliers, your staff, your this, your that. You're sitting at the end of the month, maybe in negative income, and you are going to eat shit for the next month, bro, while everyone else is lacquer, but you taking the risks at the top there.
I think to a certain point you start to not believe in yourself as well, because you're like, damn, I think I dug a bigger hole than I did try build something on top of whatever I was trying to do, right? And it's going to go up and it's going to go down. And how resilient are you to seeing it through? Because it's literally a game of last man standing, right? Everyone who's trying what you're trying right now, a lot of them are going to give up. They won't have, I won't say they won't have the resources, but they're not willing to find the resources to make it last. And if you're just around long enough, then everyone else will longer
Alex
than.
Hormozy, eh?
Yeah,
I love
do
Alex
too.
Hormozy, bro. He's like probably for me one of the most genuine, down-to-earth businessmen that say it like how it is. To be very honest with you,
100%.
but dude, he's completely right. As you say there, bro. It's just longevity at the end of the day, bro. It's you can be at the top of the mountain, bro, but you got to swim with the fishes at times, bro. Like fucking, and not in a death kind of way, but you know what I mean. So you got to be able to eat the shit, but then you build back up, bro. And I think that is the true test of a businessman, is when everything's going wrong for a extended amount of time.
It's
Can you go through it?
It's a series of things, man. To me, the biggest thing is not your hard skills. It's not what you studied or what you know. It's your soft skills. I think the characters of a true entrepreneur, right? It's not your hard skills. It's not what you studied or, what you know. It's your soft skills. Like, how can I bring people to my way of thinking? How can I get them to agree with me? How can I network and get people to like me? And I think that's what it is. Right? I know it sounds so like, I don't know what's the word for it, right?
They believe in your vision, bro.
100%,
You got to
right?
get somebody onto your side, and like whether they understand the vision or not, they just got to be like, cool, I'm behind that person, And I think that's the thing with a business owner. You have to be a leader before all else. A leader and a salesperson, but a salesperson is skills.
And an accountant and.
Oh, let's talk about that, bro. When you started out your business, bro, were you one man? Did you have someone started with you?
I was one man.
Yeah.
And it was terrible, man. It's like I was like under suppressive fire a year, bro. But I didn't even have bullets, bro. I was just dodging.
You're like the Matrix.
Yeah,
Except you're
dude.
getting shot in the knee every now and then.
Yeah, it's like dodgeball, but like there's no place to dodge, right? They're just like hitting you and
You're just
hitting
gonna
you
take it. You're
and
gonna-
hitting you.
Dude, I think that's the worst thing about starting a business, and I don't think people understand. They think, I'm just going to start this, and it will.
Literally, man. Like starting a business by yourself is like think of like your mom hitting you, and then you're just like you're trying to dodge it, and then eventually you learn the combos, and then you actually start to make your way out of it.
It's like a PlayStation game, bro. The final boss level, bro. And it never gets, dude. And until you get to the point where you're getting enough monthly income to employ someone to do your work, you get to a point you actually don't want somebody to do your work because you want it done a certain way. And to get somebody
as
else
fast
to do
as
it,
possible.
your trust on knowing that somebody else is going to do it. I always struggle with that, bro. I don't like handing out things for other people to do.
The biggest thing is like, how do you delegate? How do you let go of that vine and let someone else take over and trust them to do it? Because they're not going to do it the way you want it to be done, right? Doesn't mean they're doing it wrong. They're just not doing it up to your standard. But that's the art of delegates, man. You gotta trust people, and you gotta train people and build them up and fill their cups, so that they want more for themselves. I believe that you gotta train people to be so good that they could leave you for a higher salary, but you treat them so well that they want to stay.
Yes, yes.
Right? And you pour into other people's cups, and that's what a strong brand is. It's building up people, because without people, what is the brand?
100%, bro. 100%. And I think it's just, as you said there, bro, you got to pour into cups. But again, it's, as much as I was saying, that you can't expect somebody to do it the same way as you. It's not their business. It's not their project. So if you're expecting someone to care about something as much as you do, you're just fucking delulu, and not in a good way, because it's your thing. It's not their thing. So they're not going to put as much effort into it as much as you would.
I kind of disagree with you there. Or like, why I say that is because I feel like the biggest reason businesses fail, with employees especially, is the fact that they fail to get everyone to row in the same direction, right? You as a business owner, you have the vision, you know where you want it to go and what you want it to be, right? But do your staff see that, right? You think they do, because like you're giving them this training, but do they see it? Do they believe it, more importantly? And are they doing things that are going in that direction or take the brand in that direction? Because when you're not there and they customer-facing people, they need to believe it enough that the customer starts to understand what you're trying to do, you know?
Yeah.
And that's all it is, bro. Getting everyone to row in the same direction and building them up. And that's how you create a scalable brand. Because if you have that recipe, where you have good people doing good work, it's just going to grow whether you like it or not.
I think that also comes back down into building yourself as a person, bro. Because if you are as confident in yourself, bro, people they'll feel that energy. They'll be like, if this person is so confident in this, what reason do I have to not believe in this at the same time?
Yeah, I think just because you're a leader as well, off topic, just because you're a leader as well, doesn't mean you can't be reverse mentored, right? Like, I believe that everybody has something to teach you, right?
For sure.
I've had the most life-changing conversations on like a bus bench with someone I've never seen again in my life,
For
right?
sure.
Someone who's changed your whole perception of something through a 5-minute conversation, you know? How do you deliver that kind of impact in someone? How do you pour into people in such short spans? And that's a skill.
Dude, I don't think you can plan something like that. I don't think it's something that happens because you, as I said, planned it. That happens. I think that's the universe's way of just kind of throwing us with a fucking curveball every now and then, bro. Like, as much as we can look at it logically, you were destined to be on that park bench at those 5 minutes with that person to put you in a different direction. You know what I mean? And you can't recreate that. You know what I mean? It kind of just happens in the moment. The majority of things are very spontaneous. So I don't think... So obviously you can try to get it to that point, but it doesn't have that impact because that other person wasn't trying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, like, you don't know what you don't know. So, like, how are you going to learn about something you don't even know exists?
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people also go wrong with trying to be a business owner. They also think, as you said, we are aware that we don't know everything. But a lot of people let their pride go into the way they know everything. And one thing that I've become very passionate about is just learning, bro. Just learning about random shit. Because I just like knowing things, you know? Because
Same.
I like to now think of myself as a student of life. I will never know everything.
I like that. I'm going to adopt that.
A student of life, bro. Life will teach you things randomly, like, that you'll never expect ever again in your life, bro. And it's so, when it hits you, you're like, oh, fuck. Really? And then you just think to yourself, how did I not see it like that? That's actually so true. You know what I mean?
A lot of it is also just character building, man. Like,
Character development, bro.
dude, literally, it's like, okay, picture this. Okay, I feel like every adolescent boy can relate to this, right? You see a crush, right? It's first break. You want to go talk to her. Then you don't. Then you wait till second break, right? And you're like, okay, I'll do it after school. After school comes, you go home. You're like, I fumbled. Tomorrow, first thing, then you repeat that process. At what point do you take that hypothetical shirt off and put one on that says, I'm confident and everyone likes me, like every girl ever will like me, right? And I know it sounds so cocky, right?
No, but it's the way you should look at it, bro.
But when you go into that conversation with that confidence and you're like, you're just a brand new person because they see you the way you start to see yourself. If I feel like I'm not confident and I come over to talk to you, even as a friend, like you'll pick up on that energy, right?
100%.
The energy you put out into the world is what you get back. But if I come to you and I'm like chest out, and I'm like speaking loud and I'm speaking clearly and like when I greet you, I like hold
Firm
your
shake,
hand,
yes,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
firm
yeah.
shake, and I'm happy to meet you. You'll be happy to meet me as well. And that's not just with business, bro. That's with life. Anything you do, go into it with confidence, walk in like you own the room, and you don't have to be cocky. You just don't be
You have
quiet
to have
enough.
a certain level of arrogance, in my opinion, bro. I do think you have to have that certain level of arrogance because it's the old thing of fake it till you make it. A lot of people say don't say. Dude, I think it's a real thing, bro. Even if you're not, so it's the same as like if I tell you sit down, chat with me. You haven't got a business or whatever. I say, who do you want to be? And you tell me I want to be this buff dude with $1 million in my account by 30, with a nice car, a nice house, and stuff like that.
The generic dream.
Yeah. How do I get to that point? You start acting like him already. You can't get to being him by being this person.
I have a literal process.
Yeah.
Can I explain to you?
Yeah, explain it to me.
So,
While I smoke this hubbly.
yeah, while I talk. I'll wait.
Okay, thank you.
More energy. More power.
This is like a cheer squad, bro.
I have a process on how to be the person you want to be, right? And also how to discover the person you want to be. So imagine yourself living in your dream house. Write it down to the exact detail, right? How many rooms does it have? What color is the walls painted? What kind of decorations do you have there? Write down the car you have. Like, what's your dream car? Is it manual? Is it automatic? What rims or color is it? Like, to excruciating detail, right? Are you married? Do you picture yourself living alone in this house? Do you have kids? Write down all these things, right? And then you start to dive a bit deeper into it. How old am I when I'm living in this house, right? How much do I need to earn in order to afford a house like this? Go on Property 24 and look at houses that cost that much, right? And see what areas they're in. And then what you do is, once you've written all of that down and wrote down who your ideal self is, look at your current self. Who am I now? Who are my friends? I made a list of all my friends. And right next to it, I wrote, what do we do whenever we see each other, right? When we chill together, do we just drink, party, talk to girls? Maybe we see each other and we always just do lunch dates. Maybe every time we see each other, we have an empowering conversation, or you're the friend that keeps me accountable and you're like, you said you're going to do this, are you doing that? Write down who your friends are and what you do with them. And here you have to be so honest with yourself, dude. It's really a process of honesty. And where do you live now? What car do you drive now? Do you even drive a car, right? And now that you have your ideal self and who you want to be, you can then fill in the space in between, right? How old am I right now? How old am I when I have this house and this car and all these things? And you start backtracking, okay? In order to, if I'm 23 right now, by 35 I want to live here. How much does my salary need to increase over time? What assets do I need to build along that time? And you start to build milestones along the way, starting from the end, right? You basically beginning with the end in mind. And that's how you become successful, in my opinion.
Yeah. Dude, that's beautiful. It's a full detailed plan, bro. So you see what you have and what you want, and you start
And you bridge the gap.
weeding out the bad roots,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Because as I say, you got to act that certain way, because you have to, as you say, now you got to think, okay, cool, I need to earn 100,000 in a month. I only earn 10,000. So I have to make 10 times this amount of money in that amount of time. how do I get to that point? Then you start talking, then you start finding, then this and that.
I think the hardest part about building your ideal self is letting go of the people you love the most at the time, right? Just because we're cool with each other and we spend all our time together and I have this love for you as my friend, it doesn't mean we're good for each other as friends, right? Because we can go out every weekend, we can drink, and I'll know, like, if there's a bullet coming, you'd catch it, and vice versa, right? But that doesn't mean we're going to grow together. If you're not aligned with what I'm trying to do, I don't think there's a space for you in my life. And you're holding yourself back because of who you surround yourself with. And it's sad, bro, because it's a literal breakup, right? And slowly but surely you just start mising plans and you're not going out and not doing them. And eventually you'll find that the right people, if you're someone that wants to get more fit and you go on park runs every weekend, on the park run, you're going to meet people that want to do that as well. And those are actually the people
That
you should
be
have in
hanging
your
out with,
life, right? Because like you said earlier on, if you're not constantly growing, you're decaying, right? Your friends are holding you back and you're holding yourself back. And the only way to get past that is to surround yourself with the right people, or even isolate yourself, go into monk mode, and do what you need to do for your future self, for your ideal self. When you have a family one day and you have kids, someone needs to provide, and that starts now. The foundation is now.
Otherwise, it's way too difficult down the line, bro.
100%, man.
You said it earlier with the relationship when you were talking about that. You said love's not enough to sustain a relationship, and that goes into romantic and friendships. So it doesn't matter if you love somebody or not. That love's not enough. You need, as you say, you need to find either a partner or friends that, as you say, align with your goals. I can't be hanging around someone who wants to get fucked up 4 nights of the week and complain about their job the next day and then worry about this and say, like negative Nellies.
Yeah,
That's
like,
not going to make my life
it's
better.
like, bro, let's go split a bottle of Henny in the club, and then
Yeah.
come next week Monday, you're like, oh, dude, I think I'm gonna chill at home. I don't have cash for this or to do that. Then it's like, bro, what are you doing? Why are you gaining social capital? Go gain real capital, And even when you gain capital, the biggest thing I see people doing, right, is when they think of $1 million, they think of $1 million worth of things they can buy, not just having $1 million just sitting in your account and doing nothing, just $1 million. And that's the difference. That's the abundance mindset.
100%, bro. Everything is mindsets, bro. But I realized you can only. It's that saying again, bro. You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So if you've had the conversations with your friends, with your partner, with your family, even, and they aren't willing to now change up and become better versions of themselves, you have to leave them behind. Like it's a tough break, but
It is.
otherwise, what's going to happen. 20 years down the line, you're going to look at each other and you're going to fucking resent each other, and you're going to be like, "You kept me."
Yeah, you're
from
the
holding-"
problem.
When, in essence, it was your own fault. You kept them around.
You're a product of all your choices, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Every
where
choice
you where
you've
you
ever made,
end
yeah.
up is all the little things you've chosen to do. Like, I have a gut now because I decided to have a bite of that cheesecake this morning. Even if it was just one bite, I didn't eat the whole thing. Dude, that's like one bite more that I have to go work in the gym to get to where I actually want to be, right? And that's all it is, man.
Yeah.
It's little steps, stupid little things, man. Like, throughout your day, it's making one phone call to potential clients. It's maybe taking the steps instead of the lift if you want to get to your gym body.
Yeah.
Maybe it's telling your friends, listen, guys, I'm busy tonight. Maybe another time, instead of going out clubbing that night. And that one decision is
Sets you on a
compounded.
different pa-
It's
100%,
compounded
yes.
over time, man. And that's how you become who you want to be.
Dude, that you are your daily habits. Simple as that. You are what you eat. You are what you listen to. You are what you think. You are what you say. You are who you hang around with. Everything is the smallest. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's such a small detail. It won't really matter." It fucking matters. It matters.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take that seriously, then you don't take yourself fucking seriously. If you don't take don't take yourself too seriously to the point where you can't have fun and you're like this fucking robot.
You gotta let
you
your
know?
head on every now
No,
and
yeah,
then.
100%. Enjoy life. You know, as you say, we're gonna die, so you enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So,
anything you do is everything you do.
oh, I like that. Anything you do is everything you do. Dude, I want to end this off. You're telling me monk mode, bro. I'm in it myself. Right now, I'm in week 3. So what's your monk mode, bro?
So
Explain it for the people watching here, bro.
I've tried monk mode so many different times in so many different ways, right? And I always found myself, air quote, relapsing into my old habits, right? Maybe I'll gym for like 2-3 months, and then I don't gym the rest of the year, right? But when I am gymming, I'm like fully into it, right? And I'm like lasered in, I'm hyper focused. And what I'm trying now is to avoid breaking that cycle, is to just try not be perfect, right? I just want to try be consistent. And
So you know
To
what I
me-
call that, bro? I call that the art of showing up.
100%, man.
Even if you go to the gym, you do one set of bicep curls, you went to the gym. You know what I mean?
It's just rocking up, man.
It trains your mind.
The hardest thing for me, right, is putting off the things I enjoy. I enjoy going out, being social, and
You like things,
clubbing,
bro.
right? I
Yeah,
like things,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, 100%.
And this past weekend, the hardest thing for me to do was fight that thoughts, right? And every time the thought came up where I was like, maybe I should go out, or my friends called me, I would like physically say it out loud. No, Dylan, not today. To myself, right? Alone. Every time the thought came up, I would say it out loud, and immediately it would get muted and squashed. And then later in the day, it would pop up again. And then I'm like, no, not today. And it's a fight, dude, because you don't realize like how quick gratification ruins you, right? Just saying, no, not today. It's still hard. Even though I didn't go out this weekend, I feel good that I didn't go out. But I don't feel great that I didn't go out. Like, I still would have enjoyed going out, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But I know that,
But you don't feel shit about it.
yeah, but I know that in like a couple months or in a year from now, I'd be in such a different space because of it. And maybe the old things won't appeal to me. Or maybe in a year, it still will. It may never end, right?
But when you get to
I'll
that,
still
when
enjoy
you
the
actually
things I
do go
enjoy.
out and enjoy, you do it with a lot less worry on your mind.
Yeah.
You'll have a bit more money in the bank account. You'll be in a better physique. So you actually kind of enjoy yourself a bit more because, as you said, it's now delayed
It's
gratification.
a more controlled environment, bro.
You've now worked for this.
But also, like you said, anything you do is everything you do. In a year from now, do I want to let my hair down? Because what if it sets me on that trajectory of,
Going backwards.
reminding me of how much I enjoyed this, right? Because I remember how much I enjoyed this, in another 2 weeks, I'd be like, oh, that was cool. Let me do it one more time. Like, I spent 2 weeks without doing this. I didn't do this for 2 years. I think one more week or just one more night won't change anything. And that's how you get back into
It's
it.
called negotiating with your mind, bro.
Really, it's a non-negotiable, man. It's your own parish.
Yeah.
If you're gonna allow even just the slightest bit of yourself to enjoy things that aren't good for you, that's the life you choose.
100%, bro. And as you said, it's so easy to be the next weekend. Let me do it again. It's not that bad or whatever. I do think
because you're downplaying it.
Yeah. Always choose what's good for you. But I've said it in a podcast before. Sometimes the most fun things in life are the things that are not good for you.
Yeah.
Bro. We kind of.
I have some stories to tell.
Yeah, we kind of do it for the plot twist. It's fun, bro. But I think that again, everything comes back to me for consciousness. If you can consciously make that decision to go do something fucking not good for you, but then afterwards know that you've now done it, you've enjoyed yourself, it's now time to get back onto it, I think do it. As long as it's not to detriment to your self, really fucking badly, then, by all means.
I think that.
But you got to be strong with it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like trying drugs.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
trying drugs. Don't go try drugs if you're not a strong-minded person.
Yeah. Just
You
do
know what I mean?
heroin once off, bro.
Yeah. You might never have to do it again.
Ultimately, you have to choose who you want to be, right? And if that doesn't align with who you want to be or the life you want to live, don't have space for it, because you can find enjoyment in other
Other things,
avenues.
yeah.
Like with me, instead of going out every weekend drinking, let's go for a tasting. Let's go for like a wine tasting or pairing. But it also, it opens up, it's a gateway, because like after the pairing, I'm a little bit wavy and I'm like, yo, you guys want to go out tonight? You know? And going back to the things that you resented about yourself, it's just going to take you back down that road, man. And I think it's a lifestyle change that needs to happen, because you love yourself so much that you're going to do the things you don't necessarily want to do.
But you should do. Yeah.
But you should do. You know?
I think it's just, it gets to that point where, I do think you kind of get out of it. You do get out of it. Like if you go a year sober, I don't think drinking will appeal to you. Again, to be very honest with you, I think if you cut it out long enough, you'll find enjoyment in doing other things and actually realize that you've actually got a personality outside of a bottle. But I don't know. It's a weird thing, bro. Like, no,
it's
I
very
get
subjective.
it. Yeah.
It's very subjective.
You know, it also depends on, as you say, who you want to be. So you got to sacrifice certain parts of your life to get those parts of your life. You know, certain doors only open up for you when you become a certain person.
I think you have to. Everyone has a vice, right? Find a vice that's the least destructive, right? So if you want to stop drinking, go smoke cigars if that's your thing, right? At least you're not going to be out of your head and then you have an extra day to recover kind of thing, you know. If you have a problem with a certain addiction, find something that's equally as addictive in a better way, right? Because I feel like everyone needs a vice. And the hardest part is
we're still
finding out,
humans at the end of the day. Like right now we can sit here and talk about all the logically correct things that you should do for yourself. We know we know the blueprint to a perfect life. The problem is we won't do that because it's not actually going to be perfect at the end of the day. It might just be a little bit fucking boring. You know what I mean?
So, rule of thumb, get a vice that destroys you the least and stick to that because you love yourself. It's easy to pick up bad habits, right? So pick a habit that's going to at least aid you in your growth process, because if it's negative, at least it's not slowing down what you actually want to do, right? Yeah. And that's my talk.
Okay. What a nice way to end it, bro. Dude, that was fucking fantastic, bro. I love this podcast. A lot different from the one that we shot and didn't release.
Yeah, that one shouldn't be released.
But again, dude, thank you so much for coming on to this podcast. Also, I just want to say thank you for helping me start this like a year and a half ago, bro. If it wasn't for you being able to help
full
me,
circle.
Bro, completely.
Proud of you, man. You did
dude,
all
I'm
of
proud
this
of you
yourself,
too,
bro.
100%, dude. We're killing it, and we're going to be killing it going forward too, bro. So when we're out of monk mode, we probably will go have a beer together and have a good chow. But
I'll introduce you to one of my vices.
But for now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, any differing opinions to what we said here tonight, please leave it in the comments, like and subscribe to our channel. And yeah, that's about it. Where can they find your business, bro? 1920 Productions.
Yeah, 1920 Productions, 1920 Productions, Instagram and Facebook. Follow us, like, subscribe. I don't know, I'm not a YouTuber. But yeah, just support the homie. A real person's behind it. And yeah, would love to grow your brand.
Perfect. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on the next episode of The Modern Man. Done.
Reaction initiated. Incoming message. The Modern Man Podcast.